So it is the 30th of August 2023, and we're looking at the blue moon, SuperMoon, poking up above clouds. There was a Royal Astronomical Society of Canada meeting, and I decided to attend. And so we're just waiting for a bus at John Abbot College, and the sun, the moon, not the sun, was hiding behind very thick cloud, but it looked like it was gonna pop out above. So I said, well, let's pull out the camera and do a little video. Oh, I'm noticing I'm wide open at 5.6. Maybe I should stop down a little bit. Although I have to say, this looks pretty good wide open. I'm using a 400mm lens, which is not showing. There's like this sort of brownish halo all around the moon, but we're only getting sort of the right side of it. If I panned, I could get more of it. And as we can see, the moon's getting pretty washed out as it comes up above the clouds. So I think I will stop down F8. That will change it. I'll bring the ISO down. Okay, so now it's a bit too much perhaps. Bring the shutter speed down. Okay, so we are now at a 30th of a second at f8, ISO 1000. And yeah, this is pretty close to what I'm seeing. The moon was, it washes out at a certain point when it's not obscured by clouds, and it's necessary to change the exposure. The bus I'm waiting for is coming in maybe 15 to 20 minutes, so I got plenty of time to take some video footage here. So we're just going to let the camera run. See, as it's coming out from behind the cloud, it's kind of washed out. I will say that it's quite bright just in terms of the naked eye, but I'm seeing dark patches on the moon, which are part of the cloud passing over it, not to mention the Maria. But I think what I'm mainly seeing with my unaided eye is bits of cloud. Okay, there, yeah, we see a bit of cloud there. So I'm seeing that, but with a bit more detail. So what to do here? Should I close down a little? Let's see, we're not going to change the opening, F8, and that's... No, I think we'll keep things as is because it's going back into heavier cloud now. So there's not a whole lot of detail to see anyway. But yeah, unfortunately, the camera just doesn't have the dynamic range necessary to show the clouds as we're seeing them, which is very close to what I'm seeing with the naked eye, and the detail in the significantly brighter moon. It's actually quite high dynamic range in terms of DSLRs or any camera. At base ISO, it's almost 15 stops, I think, certainly 14. Yeah, maybe 2 or 3, or at most 4 or 5 stops of dynamic range, extra dynamic range. We'd be seeing pretty much exactly what I'm seeing with the naked eye, but unfortunately. Okay, now the moon's somewhat clear. I'm going to bring the shutter speed up. So even the moon is quite washed out compared to what I'm seeing, but the sky is quite a bit darker. Okay, I'm at 100th at f8 right now. Bring it down to an 80th at f8. And I'm almost thinking I'd be better off with a 300 millimeter lens or even a 200 to see the whole halo around the moon. I may get around to that. Let's see, I think I should maybe adjust the color temperature. I currently have the color temperature set for sunlight, but it looks a little blue compared to what I'm actually seeing, which is somewhat yellowish. So that's just one thing I like about this camera is you can change. Okay, there. This is the flash balance, which is significantly warmer than daylight. And this is actually, in terms of color, this is very, very close to what I'm seeing. So I'll keep that in mind for future reference. I also went to full cloud, full overcast, but it's actually still a little on the not quite as warm as what I'm seeing. This is very, very similar in terms of color balance to what I'm seeing. So I'm not going to mess around. I'm not going to go back to the full overcast setting just to show the difference, because this is very close to what I'm seeing with the unaided eye. And I'm just debating at some point putting on a less powerful telephoto lens just to get that nice halo, a complete circle. So yeah, but yeah, in terms of color balance, yeah, very, very, very close to what I'm seeing here at the flash setting. I actually have not used the flash color balance setting for astrophotography at all. I normally use full daylight or overcast, or sometimes I'll use the Kelvin scale, but I've never actually used the flash setting, and it's pretty darn good. Just debating if I should open up a little. I think I will open up a little here. Whoops, went the wrong way. So that's a 60th of a second. That's a 50th. Okay, so 50th. In terms of the clouds, I'm seeing, it's very similar to what I'm seeing. And even the moon, like right now, this is pretty good. This is actually very, very close to what I'm seeing with the unaided eye. So we see the Maria. Oh, this is great, actually. This is almost to the point where I want to take a still photo. Maybe I should open up a bit. So just for the record, it's a 50th of a second f8 ISO 1000 right now. And I am going to open up a bit more. We're going to go to a, whoops, I'm going to change the ISO instead of the, okay, so this is ISO 1600. So I boosted the ISO because the moon is heading behind some thick cloud. Let's boost it even a bit higher. So actually this is quite interesting. Again, what may be seen in the video may not 100% match what I'm seeing on the screen. So anyway, 2000 ISO, f8, 50th of a second. So we're going to leave it like this for now. And I think we will change position soon. But for the time being, I'm just letting the moon rise up through the frame. But I will reposition so the moon's sort of in the bottom left of the frame soon. And we're about halfway through a 20-minute video clip here. So yeah, I think in terms of seeing color and so on, I think now's the time to just reposition. So we're going to pan a bit to the right, and we're going to pan up a bit. Oh yeah, look at that halo. So yeah, this is very nice. And again, very, very close to what I'm seeing with the unaided eye in terms of color balance. The moon, once again, is totally washed out. There's no detail, or hardly any detail. But the clouds are right on the money in terms of what I'm seeing. So again, ISO 2000, f8, 50th of a second. It's a 400 millimeter lens. Yeah, if I wanted to see the whole halo, I think a 300 would manage it quite tight, but I might even be better off with a 200. I don't have anything in between, like I don't have a 70 to 300 zoom handy. But oh yeah, this is looking very nice. So, what to do? I haven't taken any still photos yet. And Saturn's out there somewhere, up, I believe, to the right of the moon, but it's probably hidden behind clouds because I don't see a little spot of light right now. Let's just have a look at Stellarium to give me a better idea of where I can see Saturn. But there is a lot of clouds, so it may just be hidden. There we go, east. So, yeah, Saturn's about 5 degrees to the right, and maybe 3 or 4 degrees higher than the moon. And yeah, it's mostly cloud there, so I think, did I say Venus? I meant Saturn if I said Venus. Venus is now a morning star, not visible in the night sky. So, yeah, I do like this footage. Oh, it's almost like a face. Talk about pareidolia. So you got the two eyes, you got the mouth, and you got the moon as the clown nose, as it were. Yeah. Again, if I had the 300 millimeter or 200 millimeter, you would see what I talk about. Now it's like a third. The moon's like the third eye between the two holes in the cloud that form the eyes of this cloud being, as it were. So, yeah, just checking. Very well, a lot of cloud, but not that thick at the moment. Sort of cloud that's not so thick that the moon can't shine through it. Oh, it looks like that might be my bus coming. The timing is about right for my bus to arrive. So I might have to wrap this up. Yep, that's my bus. Oh, synchronicity. I was just talking about earlier, the moon was between two clouds like eyes. And then you come along. So this is quite funny. This is like almost a little synchronicity here. I was talking just seconds ago about the pareidolia, about the sort of the face in the clouds, and then this fellow walks by and he's wearing a t-shirt that's got like this sort of simplified face on it, like two X's for eyes and a upturned crescent for a smile, very similar to what I was talking about. So a little bit of synchronicity. So yeah, you want to
Yeah, that's very nice.
C'est ce qu'on appelle le SuperMoon,
Ouais.
parce que c'est le plus proche à la Terre ce soir.
Ok.
Comme il y a une situation. C'est pas tellement plus grand que normal, mais
Non,
c'est
c'est
peut-être.
Avec les nuages, le reflet que ça fait, c'est beau.
Ouais, ouais. Mais Saturn est là, mais je pense que c'est caché par les nuages. Mais c'est...
C'est bon si tu vois ça.
Non, moi, je vois pas ça, je sais que c'est là.
Ok, j'étais comme mon Dieu.
Non,
tu
mes
vois,
yeux,
reflet quelque
mes
chose,
yeux,
là?
c'est
Moi, je vois
possiblement.
rien pantoute.
Est-ce que vous voyez le trou dans le... C'est peut-être
Oh,
là.
oui, je viens de le voir.
Oui, oui,
Là,
oui.
les nuages bougent, fait quoi?
Ouais, ouais. No, c'est ça. Okay, so I just saw what I think is Saturn. So we're gonna, there it is. There's Saturn. So let's boost the exposure here. And there is Saturn.
C'est clair comme affaire?
J'ai ajusté
Non, non,
l'exposure.
c'est ça, mais c'est... Ouais.
So we're seeing Saturn. So it's where I was expecting it to be, but it had been hidden behind clouds for a good chunk. So now we're at ISO 8000 f8, 40th of a second, and I think we'll keep it. I'm just trying to think. Now that I know where it is, I'm just wondering if I can get both the moon and Saturn in the frame. Not quite. So I'd have to go to a 300 millimeter or even 200 millimeter to get both of them. And now it's getting hidden behind the clouds again. I see another face. This is quite funny. So there's another face. So there's the face. I really should have put a less powerful lens. This is quite funny, like you're getting two faces in the cloud, one after the other, but we're not seeing the full thing. It's sort of Halloweenish. But yeah, the two eyes and even the nostrils and the mouth. But a little too tight here with the 400 millimeter. So maybe, because we only got about 3 minutes left here, I will get fair warning for the bus leaving. So I think I just may. Okay, so like the moon is gonna be part of the face again. We'll have the clown nose in a short while. So let's come down a little here. And even a bit more. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so the face is starting to break up. We're losing the right eye of the face. The mouth's still there, the left eye is still there, and the moon is in the middle. Oh, and there's either another little... Anyhow, it's called pareidolia. Pattern recognition. So we're about to go. Okay, let's turn